Did you ever have one of those little things when you were a kid that had the little BBs in it and the little holes that you were trying to make all of them work? And it's a hard one. It's not an easy thing to do. I think I did it once. I used to do it. I used to play with those things a lot. And one time I got BB in every hole like it was supposed to be. I didn't want anybody to touch it after that. Leave that alone. No, you can't touch that. I want to prove to you I could do it. And then I go like that and go, oh. Oops. There we go again. How did I do that time? It's a matter of practice and making our mind up to follow what the Buddha is trying to show us. Having a happy mind is what he wants for us most of all. Isn't that right? So, if you make life into a game, then there are no losers. Everybody's a winner. Everybody around you benefits. Everybody around you really appreciates the effort you put in to making things light. And it certainly makes more fun for everything to occur around you. I had an interesting thing happen today. I walked into a bookstore and this lady looks at me and she said, "I know you. I saw your picture in the newspaper." "Oh, really?" I was so shocked I forgot to ask her what newspaper it was.
Probably some other bald guy in a room.
Well, she clarified it though. She said, "You have the place out by Annapolis, right?"
Oh.
And I said, "Yeah." "What'd they say?" "Oh, they're just talking about you." I hope it was good. And again, it doesn't really matter whether it is or not.
You didn't know you had an article in the paper?
That's okay, though. He didn't know that they reprinted his book, and there's like probably over 500,000 copies of it now, floating around the world. And most of those copies, he never even knew it was reprinted. When I started tracking it, we went from the few thousand he knew about, like 5,000 or 6,000 copies. And when I hit about 170,000, I stopped that year. And the next year, it got up to about 300,000. I said, I'm not going to track it anymore. This is ridiculous. People had taken it and reprinted it in New York, New Jersey, Florida, and then England at the School of Religion, in Oxford School of Religion. They'd done 25,000 copies and decided to use it as the main book for training in meditation. It's crazy. And I came to him after the second year.
I just wanted to write a book and have 3,000 copies made.
I came to Bhante and I said, I figured it out. And he said, what? And I said, you're dead. Obviously. There's no need to go to an author if he's dead and say, I'm going to reprint your book, right? So they must have assumed that he was dead. And this American could not possibly be Vimalaramsi. It's this guy who's floating around could not possibly be that Vimalaramsi. And it was turning up all over the place in people's libraries. People would come and say, now, you're an English speaker, this is the book you should look at if you want to study meditation. You've seen it, it's this little book. It's only 90 pages. The original book was only 90 pages, and it's like this little tiny thing. And that's how I got involved with him. There was a man in Florida whose teacher, well, the group he went to was a Chinese leader of a Chinese group. And he took him to his library and he very carefully pulled out this little book and said, this is what you should do with meditation. And then we figured out that when I was in D.C., the teacher I had found was the person who wrote that book he had in Florida and Miami.
Well, Michael and I were traveling all over the country. Every time we stopped at a monastery, I looked in the libraries and they had my book.
I used to have a copy where I had a butterfly on it.
That's the one I found too.
Yeah.
And that was a large review selling on his work, too. I
Well-
really, he did this very quietly, made sure that Bhante's book was listed in all these different libraries you go to on the internet for the different universities and religious study places, you name it. That little book is there. We didn't put it there. We didn't put it in any of those libraries. It was...
There's all kinds of stuff that happens. When I was in Malaysia, I just casually talked to somebody at the newspaper. I didn't think anything about it. And I started to catch a cold. So somebody said, here, I'm going to take you to the doctor. Now the doctor's office is like a storefront that has a big window in front. So I'm sitting there waiting to see the doctor, and I see this guy, little Chinese guy, outside the window. He has a newspaper in his hand, and he's going, and he finally comes in, and he shows me the paper, and I'm on the front page with a big picture. And he says, is that you? I looked at it, and I said, well, yeah, it looks like me. And it's all in Chinese. I have no idea what they're saying. Yeah, those kind of things happen. I get on TV every now and then. I have no idea how I do it. I was a monk for 1 week. I went up to Chiang Mai, and this guy decided, he knew I was coming, and he decided to make a big deal out of an American coming to Chiang Mai as a monk. I'm a monk for 1 week, and I watched the TV a couple days later, and then now I'm on TV, walking through a bunch of people. Wow, ain't that something? Very strange. I don't know how it happens. But again, I hope it was a nice article. And it doesn't matter if it isn't. If it's criticizing me, it really doesn't matter.
Well, Cape is pretty enamored with you. I don't think you have to worry about Cape Girardeau.
And there's no such thing as bad publicity.
That's right. Anyway, getting back to the point. Having balance in your mind means to lovingly accept whatever arises without resisting it or pushing it. The truth is, when it arises, it's there. That's the Dhamma. That's the absolute truth. When it's there, it's there. Now you have your choice. You don't like it being there, I want to control it. I want to change it. I want to make it the way I want it to be, when I want it to be that way. Now you're fighting with the truth. That is getting out of harmony with the present moment. Being in harmony with the present moment is saying, yeah, you're there and it's okay for you to be there. I'll let you be there by yourself. And relax, smile, and come back to my object of meditation. Be happy. Well, it's hard to be happy when I have all these negative thoughts floating around. Okay. It doesn't matter. It's just your old habits coming back to bite at you. It's your mind resisting your willingness to change. Your mind wants things to stay the same. When this feeling arises, I'm always going to be like that. Your mind will keep saying, no, I want to be this way. I'm comfortable beating myself up. I'm comfortable criticizing myself and causing myself pain. Because that's my habit. And now you're coming along and saying, you want to smile? What is this? I don't want to smile. I want to beat myself up some more. Why? Just old habit. That's all. Making the conscious decision to change. And then having the determination to do that is what the Buddha's teaching is all about. Sometimes it's real easy. When it's easy, it's real easy, isn't it? When you have joy, it's real easy to be happy. And sometimes it's not. When it's hard, it's really hard. But it's still simple. Making the choice of whether you're going to take these things and be that or not. It's your choice. The more you're willing to change and let go, the easier it becomes. So, what are you going to do, guys? Do I get the boxing gloves out or not? He's thinking about the boxing gloves. Maybe try it out.
Might as well bring it external.
Why not? If you're going to suffer internally, you might as well make it external too.
Might forget about the internal.
That's why I told him to take off his shoes and kick the tree. Make it really hurt. Anyway, do you have any questions, comments, statements? You have a question? I didn't think so. Huh?
When do I eat next?
So why don't we share some merit? May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless flee. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus accrued for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty powers, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddhist dispensation.